real quick, okay? You're an environmental lawyer, but let's look at the Constitution together on guns. The language of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You know that in Heller, Justice Scalia recognized an independent right to gun ownership apart from militia. Did he get that wrong? Why would that have been worded in the way that it was worded unless it was to be tied to a militia?
I think you can argue it either way.
How do you argue?
Well, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to relitigate the Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court, has made its declaration about what the Second Amendment says. I believe in the Constitution, and I'm not going to take anybody's guns away. I believe in the Constitution. I think also, and by the way, I had two family members who were killed by gun violence, so I understand the anguish and the pain of people now. Every day we're having, gun violence directed against our children. We need to figure out some way to deal with that. But I think, talking about taking people's guns away at this point in history particularly I've lived in rural areas my whole life. My clients are rural people. I've represented hook and bullet people from the beginning of my environmental career. And
are you going to tinker around the margins?
No,
with AR weaponry?
That's what I'm saying. I think you can tinker around the margins, and hopefully you can do that with a consensus, but it's not going to solve the problem. And nobody really believes that it is. And I think we need to protect our children, even if it means doing the same thing we do at airports. But I also think, people don't get guns onto airports and onto airlines, and that stopped because we made a national determination that it was worth going through the nuisance of protecting them. We need to do that same thing for our children. Until we can build a consensus on guns and how to handle them. I also think, Michael, that it's very important to look at the role of psychiatric drugs in these shootings. And, particularly the SSRIs and the benzos, because we are using those like nobody else in the world. And if you look at the manufacturer's inserts for those pharmaceuticals, most of them say suicidal and homicidal ideation on them as side effects. And there are other countries in the world, like Switzerland, has as many guns as we do per capita, and they don't. The last school shooting
much more stringently regulated than are ours.
Yeah, the last school shooting they had was 21 years ago. We have one every 21 hours. We need to look at that.